I was a big fan of the original Moto Razr and also of the Razr 5G, this foldable phone from Motorola, which came out a few years ago. It was riddled with some software issues, and for a while it didn't support Wi-Fi calling, which is why I stopped using it. But today, all of that's going to change because we have the Moto Razr 40 Ultra with us right here. And we're going to unbox it and show you what all it has, and we're going to talk about some of the specifications and then take this phone for a spin. Let's quickly get started. If you enjoy iGyaan content, hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button because we make some interesting content, and let us know in the comment section below what your favorite feature of the new Moto Razr 40 Ultra is. Our box is sort of in a situation, very slim phone. In fact, Motorola claims it's the slimmest foldable phone, and it kind of looks like that. So there's a clear bumper protection case. We also have the wall charger, which is a standard wall charger with a USB-A type port, and this is a 33-watt wall charger. You also get a standard USB-A to USB-C charging cable. So you get a SIM ejector tool, some documentation, which is some basic quick start guide, and a README booklet. So let's quickly power this on. So you've got a display over here, which we did in the previous generation of the Moto Razr as well. But this display is special because it sort of wraps around the cameras as well. The front has a 6.9-inch POLED display, and this is a Full HD Plus display with a 413 pixel per inch pixel density. You can still sort of see a crease here, even though they call it a creaseless design. You do still have a crease. It's not as bad as, say, this generation. On this one, you can see a lot of creases and a lot of fingerprints as well. But on this one, you just have like a subtle crease in the middle, which once the screen is on fairly enough, you don't see it that much. So over here is a power button, which also doubles up as the fingerprint sensor. And then you do have your volume buttons over here. You can see the antenna lines. It's got a metallic finish on the edge, so metal frame as well. And this back panel is sort of smooth matte glass. So all of it is Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. And then inside is, of course, a POLED display, so you don't really have that kind of protection, but you do have a screen protector pre-installed, which is nice. The hinge, I have to say, is a massive improvement over this hinge. In just the sheer design of it, it almost folds flat as well. It feels nice. It's got a really reassuring mechanism, so no issues there. So let's come back to the main screen. The main screen has an LTPO display. The POLED panel is an LTPO panel, and it has 120% of the DCI-P3 color gamut. So you've got lots of colors here, a billion colors. It also has a peak brightness rating of 1400 nits, but we believe the range is somewhere in the 500 to 1000 nits. Of course, the 1400 is like at a percent of the display, but when you're using 70% of the display, you should get in the range of 506 to about 1000 nits of brightness on the front, on the main display, not on the front display. This display is also HDR10 plus rated, and it has a refresh rate of up to 165 Hz and 240 Hz of touch sampling. But if you're using the game mode, you can go up to 360 Hz. Which is great. You do have a dedicated game mode on this device as well. So you can see that this time around you have access to your entire Android operating system, unlike previously, which was only like a few apps would work. Now the entire app library works here, which is great. And then you can also access the camera from here. It'll use the main camera as the primary camera, and then I can also switch to various modes. In fact, they have this mirror mode that you can use to like do makeup and stuff. So targeting women with that, and some men, of course. The outer display is also an AMOLED display, which also has a 413 pixel per inch pixel density. So you have the same pixel density. So if you're looking at something here on the main screen and you flip it close and you're looking at the same thing on the outer screen, the pixel density is more or less the same. So the sharpness levels will be the same for the product. Also, you have a similar amount of brightness in this as well. So this is rated for about 1100 nits, but natively it will do between 500 and 6 to about 900 nits. So you'll get that range is also pretty similar to the inside display. Either way, both should be fine indoors as well as outdoors, but of course we will test that out in depth for you guys as well. The outer display is also HDR10 plus rated, and then you also have 100% coverage of the DCI-P3 color gamut. The outer display is 144 Hz of refresh rate. The touch sampling rate on the outside is 120 Hz. But again, if you're using game mode, you get the same touch sampling inside as well as outside. So you get 360 Hz both inside as well as outside on this device. So on the outside, you have two cameras, which are your main cameras. So you get a 12 megapixel main camera with OIS, which is great for capturing video as well. And then you have a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera, which also doubles up as the macro camera. Thank God for that. On the inside, you get a 32 megapixel camera, which is a quad pixel camera. So about 8 megapixel camera with quad pixel. In both cases, you can capture 4K video at 60 frames per second from the back as well as the front. And overall, a pretty good set of cameras on this device. Of course, we'll test them in depth. Running everything is a Qualcomm Snapdragon Series 8 Gen 1, which is excellent for gaming. And then you also have about 3,800 milliamps of battery, which I would not say is the best for gaming. And the charging is only limited to about 30 watts with a 33 watt charger included inside the box. Of course, via USB-C, which is over here at the bottom. Overall, it's nicely built, and you get 8 gigabytes of RAM as well as 256 gigabytes of storage. No expansion, no micro SD card, none of that stuff. No headphone jack, of course, because this is a slim foldable phone. So this clamshell cover case almost reminds me of the Galaxy flip phones, which have similar cases available. But hey, it gives you a phone protection, and I'm not complaining in that scenario. It doesn't give it any kind of internal protection, so that's a bummer. But hey, the outer screen is protected and the back is nicely protected, but this will get lots of fingerprints. As you can see, it'll not look as shiny as the phone without the case, which also gets a lot of fingerprints, by the way. If you're charging this phone wirelessly, you can do that as well. It does support 5 watts of wireless charging, but it's going to be super slow, so I highly do not recommend it. I mean, unless it's the only option you have at that time. The camera has some interesting modes, again, stuff that we saw in the past. So you can pop it down like this and use it like a tripod. There's also a tent mode where you can sort of pop it like this and then use that as the front camera. I mean, you have all of these features. Hello. In this phone, which make it interesting for people. The price on the box is 1,20,000. I believe it's going to be somewhere around 80,000 for this one. Around 60,000 for the Not Ultra one, but we'll have actual prices and links in the description below, so you guys can go check it out. It's overall really well built. You've got an aluminum 7000 series frame here, which not only looks nice, but also feels robust. The snap is really reassuring. You can slam it hard and nothing's going to happen because it's well protected. I really like the implementation of the front screen. You can use the front screen in this normal view where it doesn't cover the camera, but if you want to cover the camera, you can tap this and get a full screen which goes around the camera and looks nice. So we'll be testing this phone in depth. If you want a full review, let us know in the comment section below. If you have any particular questions or queries, do let us know in the comment section below and we'll try and answer them in our follow-up video. This phone does get warm quite easily. In just shooting this video, this area has gotten quite warm. I want to see if it gets hot in just day-to-day use. And we'll let you know how that goes. So leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to iGyaan. I'll see you in the next one.